So the trailer for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity dropped yesterday. And while I did do a quick video, at that time I had watched the trailer once. I was so overwhelmed with emotion. I was so excited that I missed just about everything. So I've gone back, I've watched this trailer, I don't know, probably 100 times at this point. And I've caught some stuff and I wanna go over all of it with you guys frame by frame. And we are gonna do that right now. What's up guys, welcome back or welcome in for the first time. If you are new here, do me a favor, hit that red subscribe button. And before we get into this, I just wanna tell you guys a few quick things. One, obviously, you guys know I'm a big Zelda fan. So with this game announcement, I'm probably gonna be doing a lot of Zelda videos, but I want you guys to know that is not going to take away from the regular gear reviews and other things we do on this channel. These are just going to be more videos. So you're not gonna be losing anything, you're just gaining more Zelda. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're gonna jump into the trailer, we're gonna start taking a look at things. So let me go ahead and get that pulled up. All right, let's go ahead and run through the trailer and we'll just kind of talk about it as we go here. Okay, so it starts out here, they're showing us some of the same images we're seeing from the first game. Of, you know, the tapestry and the story of what happened 100 years ago, the stuff we see in Breath of the Wild. Starts out with Impa's voice, and this scene here, I thought originally was from Breath of the Wild, but taking a second look at it, it looks like it actually is the same scene from Breath of the Wild, but these have been made specifically for this game. So these aren't taken from Breath of the Wild. This is definitely new stuff. It's the same things happening, but they're different angles. Honestly, if you would have told me it was from the same thing, I wouldn't have known. Again, more Guardian shots here. And again, these do look like the shots from Breath of the Wild, but they are not. These are brand new. But I've also got to say, just the fact that you can't tell if it came from the game before or is new for this game is great, in my opinion. I'm so happy that they have kept the art style exactly the same. It really, really makes you feel like this game is a real part of the story of Breath of the Wild, the trilogy now. So all good, you know, great stuff. Let's keep moving on. All right, so here you see the castle kind of the way it looks in Breath of the Wild. Not quite the same, but it looks like this is when Ganon is starting to take over things and take over the castle, but then all of a sudden it jumps back to the original version of the castle that we never really got to see in Breath of the Wild. So I think this whole part of the trailer was pretty much for all those people like, I wish we could see Castle Town before it was, you know, burnt to the ground. This is pretty much for those people just kind of saying, bam, here you go, here it is. You're gonna see it. You're gonna get everything. That's me. I'm one of those people. Okay, let's keep going. So after the shot of the castle, they cut to this new shot of Link, which is him in his Hyrule Guard's armor or soldier's armor, whatever you want to call it. But he's holding a sword up in the air. He's looking up at somebody. My guess is this is probably sometime in the beginning of the game, obviously, and I'd say it's probably maybe an opening cutscene that goes with another one we're gonna see, which I'll pick out as soon as we get to it. So yeah, not a lot going on here, but really cool. And actually, it kind of starts out sort of the same way that Hyrule Warriors did, the original. So then we get this awesome shot of Zelda walking through this darkly lit part of the castle out into the light. It looks like she's going out probably to the same place where Link just was to address the soldiers. So I think these probably go together in some way. My guess is this is a lot of the opening cutscene. Okay, so right after that, they cut to this area here. This is the sacred grounds where Link was actually appointed to be Zelda's knight in the original game. There's actually a cutscene that takes place right here, and this is extremely accurate to what's in Breath of the Wild. If you keep going in this scene here, as you see the explosions and the soldiers heading towards all these monsters down here, there's pillars right here. There's actually still pieces of those pillars in Breath of the Wild. They're still right there. There's a bunch of other stuff in the background you can see here that is not in the game, but this scene is really, really cool. Just blowing up enemies, mowing through here, and then right at the end through the explosion comes Link, still in knight's armor. So obviously this is probably still towards the beginning of the game. My guess, the very beginning of the game. This might actually be the first gameplay in the game that we get is this battle. Okay, so the next scene you get right here, I really like this one for some reason. There's not a ton going on, but I just feel like this is a very cinematic looking shot. I really love it. And all it is just Mipha and Zelda looking at the Sheikah slate. That's literally all they're doing. But I just feel like seeing these characters together and all this interaction and stuff, like, I'm just so excited for this game. I really love the way this scene looks. Obviously, you can tell by the background, this isn't Zora's Domain. You can see some of the blue rocks in the background there, and obviously there's really not enough context to even try to guess what point in the game this would be. But yeah, I mean, not a lot going on here, but again, this is one of the scenes, there's probably 3 or 4 scenes in this whole trailer that I really just really got me excited. This was definitely one of them, even though, like I said, there's nothing going on here. All right, let's keep moving. Okay, this one right here, the next scene is Link and Ravali fighting. Link takes a swipe at him and he jumps. And as you see him exit the cloud of smoke here, there's a few things that you notice. One, he doesn't have any of his champion stuff on at all. He has a blue little scarf thing that he wears and a little thing tied to his bow, I think. None of those are there. So my guess is this might be maybe Link going to recruit him to be one of the champions, because you know, in Breath of the Wild, you kind of see that those two have a little bit of a rivalry. They don't really like each other all that much. You can kind of get some of that from the cutscenes. So we'll see about that. That kind of makes me think that there's going to be a good portion of this game that is recruiting the champions. Like maybe you are gonna have to go to the 4 different places where where you end up going to the divine beasts in Breath of the Wild, and maybe going there and recruiting the champions and helping Zelda find those people that she's looking for. A scene like this definitely gives me those type of vibes, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's keep going. All right, the next scene, we have a bunch of monsters heading towards the castle. Okay, this one is cool for 2 reasons. One, Link does not have the Sheikah Slate, but he's still using Sheikah technology. You can see that is a bomb that it's one of the runes you get from the Sheikah Slate. Now, that's cool. Obviously, they're gonna give him some moves. He has to have a moveset. So they're gonna give him some of those moves, even though he does not have the Sheikah Slate. It looks like Zelda's gonna be the one with the slate for most of the game at least. But something else, if you notice in the background here, as we keep going, when the bomb goes through the enemies here, it does knock them over, but it doesn't explode yet. When it explodes, it actually does explode their little base that's connected to the tree back there. You couldn't do that in Breath of the Wild. Those things, you couldn't blow them up or tear them down or light them on fire or anything like that, but it looks like that's something you're gonna be able to do in this game. Whether or not that has any significance in the game, or maybe it's just for extra points, or maybe they're like bases that you have to take out so they can't go back. Nobody knows yet, but that is a very interesting thing to add, and I do like it. All right. Keep going. All right, so like I talked about earlier, I think this is a scene that actually goes back to the one that we saw with Link earlier when he's holding up the sword. I do believe that scene, the scene of Zelda walking outside, and this scene are all probably a part of the beginning cutscene. If I would have to guess, I would say these are all things we're gonna see in the beginning of the game. Now this one right here, this part right here, we need to go a little bit closer. Okay, so this scene right here, if you stop it at the exact moment it starts, you can see that Link and Zelda are right outside of the castle. Looks like they're getting ready to escape. They're both wearing the things that they were wearing in the end part of the cutscenes from Breath of the Wild. So this looks like a part that's gonna be towards the end of the game, obviously, because it looks like Ganon is starting to take over the castle at this point, and I would say that this is the moment when all that happens. So that might be something we're gonna see really far into the game. Maybe not, because they don't want to spoil it. It might be something else, but I don't know what else it could be. Then the next thing we get, I think, is absolutely amazing and awesome, because I'm pretty sure the only other place we saw that was in Creating a Champion, which was the book that had all the information about Breath of the Wild. But in this scene, we actually see the Guardians coming out of those big pillars that come up around the castle, which is awesome, because you don't see that in Breath of the Wild. I'm pretty sure the only place that's mentioned is in that book. So clearly, they've taken a lot of time with this game to really go back and take just even those tiny details and make sure that they're adding these things in like exact. It's so awesome. So then we see the Guardians headed down. Obviously, these ones are already turned because they're glowing red. Now here's an interesting scene. We have a scene of the king, and then it pans out a little bit and you see Zelda, Link, and what I am guessing is Impa. And she's shown up a few times in this trailer. And I'll go ahead and include a couple shots of what we can see of the back of her head right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess. I would say this is Impa. It almost has to be. You know, in Breath of the Wild, obviously she's very old, things are different, but in every other game, she's right by Zelda's side all the time. So for this to be her, it's not really that much of a stretch. I'd put any amount of money on, yes, this is Impa. And if you look very, very close right in front of them, there's actually that little egg guardian thing from the cover art is right in front of them. You can barely see it, but it's standing right in front of them. Obviously it is Sheikah technology, but I would say it's either something that Impa has that she has come around with her, or it's some type of assistant to Zelda. I would say one of the two, but I imagine this is probably gonna be something that helps you out along the way in the game. There has to be a point to it. It's not gonna be there for no reason. It's not just gonna be some extra little guardian character there for no reason. So I'm guessing this does affect some portion of the gameplay or help you out, or maybe it has something to do with the maps. Who knows? But I'm sure on the 26th, when we get more information on this, that is another thing I haven't talked about yet. On the 26th, we are getting more information on this, which is just absolutely amazing that Nintendo has told us this instead of making us wonder. But we're gonna talk about that in another video, but let's go and get back to the trailer here. So yeah, I think this is Impa. I'm pretty sure. Now you see some cannon blasts here, and I'm wondering where this is. Because it could be at the castle, but it could be in one of the other spots around Hyrule where these big battles took place. And I wonder which ones we'll actually end up seeing, because we're gonna get to go to a lot of these places that we've only heard about in this game. So this could take place somewhere else. It could be in any one of the regions where they had a big battle. So that's something to think about, and something we're definitely going to be covering in another video. All right, we got some guys coming out of the ground here. This is awesome. This is amazing. The shot of this Lionel right here is absolutely incredible. And you know, I've been saying that this art style looks just like Breath of the Wild, but I think this is a touch better. I think it's a little bit better. And obviously you can see here, they are in Zora's domain again, and Zelda is about to take on a Lionel, which is crazy. And you can see here, she uses the stasis rune to stop the Lionel in his tracks, which that's just awesome. That's so awesome. The fact that we're fighting, I mean, these genuine one-to-one enemies from Breath of the Wild in this game is just amazing. My question is, how are they gonna fight? Are they gonna have the same type of attacks like they did in Breath of the Wild? Are they gonna be different? I'm very interested to see how that all works. But then we go to the next scene here, and we've got Mipha jumping up with this water attack. I'm guessing this is probably some type of special move that she has. In Warriors games, you always have some type of powered up special move. And then right after that, we get this awesome shot of Urbosa dodging an attack from one of the Yiga clan members. And this looks like it takes place right in the middle of the Gerudo Desert town, like right in the middle of town. So we're gonna end up seeing all these big areas in Breath of the Wild. My other question is it gonna be any type of open world at all? I doubt it. I think we're probably gonna be going level to level, and most of what we're gonna be seeing here is just the story elements as we go along. I think that's really what this game is gonna focus on the most. Yes, it's gonna have the Warriors gameplay style, but I think telling this story is the biggest part and the biggest point of this game. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's gonna be a lot of exploration. I think it's gonna be very, very story driven. So yeah, we see this awesome block here, and then we get this super cool shot of all the champions standing, looking at something. As you can see, there's probably something on fire there. Who knows what they're looking at there? So then you can see one of the divine beasts here, and it is being powered by Darug because it's blue. You can see there's not red there. So that brings me to another question, and I think I have the answer to it. I really wondered if we're gonna be able to see the divine beasts out in different places, other than where they're out on, you know, Death Mountain and out in the desert, you know, other places besides those areas. I think we are. I think we're gonna be able to see these all over the map. I'm thinking they possibly might be some sort of like a special attack, like a air attack, like a call in, you know, like a strike attack or something like that. Possible. I mean, who knows what they're gonna do, but I mean, I think we will see them in battle in areas other than the ones we see them in Breath of the Wild for sure. At least I hope. Okay, as we move on here, we see another shot from Zora's domain. Looks like there's a battle there, and if you have played Breath of the Wild, you know that they were actually one of the only places in the entire area that fought off the Guardians and all the monsters and all Ganon's forces and were able to keep their home safe. So maybe we'll see that too. That would be awesome. Then we got Darug here with some type of a slam attack, and then he turns around and pulls the fist down, blows it up. Amazing. Now this scene right here I do want to stop on, and that kind of goes back to what I was just talking about a little bit with the way this game looks. I think this game is definitely gonna look better than Breath of the Wild. If you just look at this, just this scene right here, stop. The textures on the ground ground, just the textures on the ground alone look insane compared to what you see in Breath of the Wild. So I'm guessing this is probably gonna be, you know, a step above as far as graphics go with Breath of the Wild, which is great. I mean, you know, it should be. You know, we've gotten a little further along in the development of the Switch. You don't have to worry about the Wii U anymore. So that's cool. And it gives me a lot of hope for, you know, some of the things that they may be doing with Breath of the Wild too, especially since it's clearly been pushed back a little further than what I originally thought. I'd say it's probably a holiday title, but let's go ahead and move on. Now you see here, Ravali just shot that bow as well. I want to talk about this. In the game, I'm pretty sure it only shoots 3 arrows at a time, his bow, but right here it shoots 6. So maybe there's some type of power-ups you can get that'll let you start shooting more arrows and do more damage. Now this next scene here, I have no idea what this could be, but this is where things start to go south. So in this scene here, it looks like Link is holding some type of a shock weapon back. I don't know what it is, but you can see on the Master Sword there, you know, obviously it's later in the game, he's changed his clothes, but he's holding some type of a shock weapon back. No clue what that is. I hope we get to see more on that soon, but then you start seeing all the champions kind of falling or kind of, you know, having some issues with some stuff here. And if you look at all of them closely, it does look like they're all either in or around their divine beasts. So my guess is those are also something in the end cutscenes that are showing, you know, what happens to them, which I'm very interested to see how they deal with all that. Like, how are they gonna, you know, we all know what happens to them. How are they going to show that? I mean, this could be a very, very sad Zelda game. But let's go ahead and move on again. Here we see a blast coming into the castle gates. Link and Zelda turn around again. This is probably closer to the end because they are in those outfits that they are in the ending cutscenes, the ones we see in Breath of the Wild. Then here you see Calamity Ganon coming up out of the castle over the Blood Moon. I mean, you just don't get any cooler than this. I can't even explain how excited I am for this game, and we do not have long to wait. So a few other little things I do want to touch on before we wrap this one up. I want to go back to the scene where Urbosa dodges the attack from that Yiga Clans member. That's not a Warriors thing. That is a Breath of the Wild thing. That slow-mo dodge attack, that's in Breath of the Wild. So I'm wondering how much of the moveset we are going to get from Breath of the Wild in this game. I mean, they said they were working a lot closer with Nintendo on everything, really. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some timed attacks like that where you can dodge and parry. That would be really, really awesome. And while we're talking about that, I'm really also interested to see some more of the story details with the Yiga clan. And maybe we'll actually get to see how they ended up on that mountain where they were at, or, you know, what other things they did to help Ganon during all of this. But that's all very, very interesting to me as well. I can't wait to see that. So that's pretty much the basics of what I can pick out of this trailer. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff I missed, and I definitely want you guys to let me know what that is down in the comments. All in all, I'm so excited for this game. I cannot wait. I couldn't sleep last night. I was so excited. I mean, this is what I have been waiting for. I have wanted to know more about this story for so long. It's barely touched on in Breath of the Wild, and I just feel like there's so much more that they could give us. And if you've seen any of my past videos on Zelda, that's the one thing I really, really always come back to when it comes to Breath of the Wild, is the lack of story. But with something like this, I mean, we really couldn't get the story in a better way. And now we are going to have, for the first time, a proper Zelda trilogy. I mean, guys, it's amazing. I'm super excited. I think I've said that probably 400 times in the last 2 days. But guys, that's all I got for this one. Like I said, let me know if there's anything I missed in the comments below. Please leave a like on this video. Make sure you are subscribed, and we will see you in the next one.